In today's Jurassic World Evolution 2 video, we are going to build this lagoon with a lot of detail in the backside of our little park. So if you want to see more of that, stick with me and let's go. Alright, welcome back to Jurassic World Evolution 2 and in Bumpy's tiny park. Just a little recap in case you don't know what this project is all about. This project is a little build in which we're trying to build a tiny park in Jurassic World Evolution. That means we are building very tiny habitats for very tiny animals, or well, not all these tiny animals, but we are building at least very tiny enclosures, just you know, as in a very crampy city zoo or something like that. But we are doing this in a very, very detailed way. That means I'm trying to really do my best to do as much detailing as possible. And as always, I'm using a couple of mods in case you're wondering. I'm using the Freebuild and basically all the expanded Sandbox, terrain, blah, 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 expanded mods to be able to, you know, use the most out of the tools that the game give. My philosophy about mods is actually to only use mods that enhance the gameplay that is already available. So I'm trying to not use any modded items or dinosaurs or anything like that. I'm basically using the in-game tools just with a couple of extra features that for whatever reason Frontier didn't give us. So in fact they could easily just, you know, have the same things available for us if they just, you know, reduce the limitations to certain things that I'm quite aware of are in place, especially because of the console versions, but still I'd love to see them, you know, naturally adding these things like disabling hitboxes, making sure that you can terraform within buildings and stuff like that and put buildings just above water, for example. So we are not using the expanded foliage, even though I love this mod quite a bit because technically all these plants are also in the game. But just making sure that this series is using only the expanded kind of mods in terms of what the game could offer if it would, well, get rid of all the limitations. Now, speaking about this lagoon, the build looks very straightforward, but don't be fooled. I tested quite a lot how to achieve that because again, I'm only using the new pieces from the latest update, and I'm not using too many of the modded items, which would have been so much easier because there are some very nice bushy plants that make this look all a lot better. But with the couple of plants available throughout the last update, it was quite a bit of a struggle to make this look like a more or less natural lagoon to the backside. So the idea was that we have one side of the lagoon looking like as if it is like built for a park, and then the other side looks to be very natural. And I used a couple of tricks, you know, that I used in various games already, like Planet Coaster or other things like that. I learned this through the likes of Sylv and all the other brilliant park builders, you know, kind of building blocks of foliage that go to the backside or like to the background, become more bushy and more lush in order to make it appear as if it is super lush and a super dense forest in the background, even though you're just layering some more bushy plants together in order to first of all save some polys. That was at least always the case in Planet Coaster, and to make it still look very overgrown. That's the same idea here I do with the big trees. You will see now by lowering down the things, it'll become a lot more like that in the future. There you can see I'm using some of those to make it look a bit more bushy, and then you can see I'm just lowering the terrain to make them be in the water a little bit more, in order to make it look as if there are a couple of plants in there, and I'm just mixing some others in to, you know, have a little bit of detail here and there just to make sure it looks a bit different, and then just playing around a little bit with the height of certain things here to achieve a certain natural look. And that's almost about it already. Frankly, this is really what I wanted to achieve with all of that, and I think it just kind of worked out pretty well. And then obviously I put down some viewing opportunities. Yeah, I mean, in terms of the game, we have a little issue since this whole lagoon is not really super well covered in viewability. I gotta have to change that with some other things as well. Maybe also the special fence works, but I'm not really sure about that. Just making sure that everything works out as it should. And then we, have certain things in here as well, making sure that the waterfront in which, people are walking by and stuff looks also pretty parkish, and then the rest looks like a little lagoon. We will have some, you will see that in the real-time part quite nicely, we will have some dinosaurs in that water as well, or marine reptiles, I should say. We've got the Ichthyosaurus in there, it's going to be the Epedemic as well as the Plesiosaurus. Those three are going to be in there. They are relatively small, so that fits nicely. They are small in relation. They are not small per se, but they are small in relation. So making sure that we don't have like a big beast like the Mosasaur in here, even though obviously the habitat is pretty cramped nevertheless. But that's it. Please keep in mind that these animals will obviously glitch through all of the stuff in there. So this habitat is by no means good to be viewed from below the ground. It is definitely going to be a habitat or like an enclosure lagoon to be viewed from the outside. That's the main focus of this entire park anyway. So yeah, that's what we do. You can see here, even in the time lapse, the placement of the fence looks a little bit slow. My god, this is, oh my god. If there's one thing I would wish for the game, it would be like a prop line tool, like just like in, City Skylines. That was a lifesaver back in the day, and I'm still craving a tool like that in here. It's such a pain to put these things down with the tools available. We don't have like we don't have the advanced move tool as in Planet Coaster, for example, or Planet Zoo. We don't have a way to connect things. They don't snap, and yeah, it's just like a very tedious process to put these things down to make it look like a good proper fencing here. And yeah, I'm using certain tricks, for example with this palm tree thingy over here with the planter, to cover up the edges that don't look really good. In fact, this is the way to go. But I'm still very pleased with how that all turned out. We've got this little planter area in the middle. It's not like it could become also like a little compy habitat maybe, because they shouldn't be able to escape there. So maybe we're going to put some compies in there, simply because that's so small and they are so small that could work out. Obviously, it would be dangerous, but we already spoke about the fact that this park is by any means going to be realistic, so we can let our creativity run free. So maybe I'm going to put some compies in there. Let me know in the comments down below if you like the idea. I'm not sure. It was just like a random idea I came across now during the voiceover, but who knows. Yeah, tried certain things. I hope that I can lower this down as much as possible to have the tree crown, like the upper layer of the tree, as almost like a little below surface foliage, almost like water lilies, but I couldn't drag them down enough, so I ended up with doing nothing. But yeah, so this is almost like it already. I'm very happy with how this lagoon turned out to be looking in here, and the last episode will be focusing on bringing everything together, but more about that in the real-time part. I'm gonna talk you through all these things, and for the moment we're just going to place a little placeholder in the middle. I have some other ideas for what we are going to do here, but I just wanted to put this placeholder pond down for the moment, so we have like a at least somewhat finished look of this area. Anyhow, so that's it from my side in the voiceover. Let's jump over into the real-time part so you can enjoy the full build in the real-time part with the real-time Rudy. Have fun! Alright, so here we are in the real-time part, and as promised we are going to look at it from the game's perspective. First of all, a little catch up on what we've done in the last couple episodes. So this is our main hero. This is the Bumpy, because he's the name giver, or she's the main name giver, for our park, the Bumpy's Tiny Park. And you can see I actually changed quite a lot of things. I deleted the lagoon from this middle part over here, just simply because I didn't feel it. It just kind of, I don't know, it just didn't sell the idea properly. But that this little pond in the middle is just a placeholder for the moment being. So this is going to be changed to open up the zoo a little bit, or the park a little bit more, giving the guest a bit more of access to certain facilities that's going to be located more here into the back. So give it like almost like a little bit of a theme park-ish front, that you go like all this way, and then this is going to become a lot more theme park-ish looking. And this will be also the last episode making this, putting another small habitat here, and also maybe one or two next to that, and this should be it, getting a bit of a backstage area in, and there we go. But today's episode was all about the tiny lagoon, and I'm more than pleased with how that turned out to be looking. Honestly, it really looks the way I wanted it to be looking. I think it has a cool vibe going on. It's pretty small. That's what the target was of it. It just feels like pretty much in nature. It feels like very nice. It feels also not too cramped, and also it is quite busy down here, as we can see. There are a lot of Ichthyosaurus in. There are a couple of Epedemic and a lot of Plesiosaurus. So I made sure that there is a lot going on, just to give that kind of cool view from. Oops, I'm zoomed in quite dramatically. This cool look from above, you know, a bit dependent on which kind of direction you're looking at. But I think this is kind of a fair point to be seen. And also, I just love the hotel. Just imagine you chill in that pool up here. Well, we can actually do so. Let's just quickly chill in that pool, you know. Chilling here and then looking into the lagoon. It looks kind of cool, doesn't it? Just having this pool with this almost infinite pool look over here into the lagoon. And the same goes for this upper layer. It's not that one. You look into the other direction where something else will be here. But if you look above this kind of crest over here with the edge, that looks also pretty cool. Look, this is just really cool. Having this little hotel in the front, I think, sells the whole area a little bit more now. But yeah, overall, I'm quite happy. I wanted to make like a little terrace over here, but I just didn't found a way to put the, you know, the stools, like the tables, stools and stuff in place. I really didn't know exactly how to achieve that without having... I really do need something like a flat concrete ground. That would be something really, really badly needed in order to have like a ground that you can put across certain things. But other than that, I'm fairly happy with how that turned out. Hopefully you guys are too. Now, I won't take much more of your time. This is the finished result. Just a little advice. If you guys want to use some of the emotes here on the channel, and if you want to become member, you can do so for 99 cents only. I recently added a very low barrier to that. In case you do that, please... be aware that, because people asked me a couple of times, this is why I'm just speaking about this real quick while okay, I want to give you like a little bit of a nice spot here while I talk random stuff. No, that's not nice. Let's put you guys like so. Have a little look into the lagoon. Now, the reason why is that a lot of people asked me recently, and my idea about the membership on this channel is pretty simple. Every membership gets the same rewards. In fact, I'm just sometimes posting some screenshots for members only, and you know, doing maybe some polls for members only. But since we are so little members at this point, it makes no sense to put like big things in. I have some ideas to when we are over 50 members. At this moment in time, we are like 25-ish members at the channel. So if you want to become one, 99 cents is the lowest one, and I think 4.99 is the highest one. It depends on what you can and want to do. The stakes and the trees and stuff will always be the same. I'm really not a big fan of this tier system. I don't want to put anyone above, you know, because people have different abilities to support other people, and if 99 cents is what you can do, that's, for me personally, it's the same gesture and the same thing as someone who can spend 20 a month. It doesn't matter, you know. I'm really not a big fan of this tier system, so I will always treat you right. I just left them systems in place in case you want to support more, you can do so. That's pretty simple. But also, I want to understand a bit better what would you guys love to see if you do pay that. Obviously, you get the cool emotes. We are just missing 2 members for a new emote slot. I have some very cool emotes in the background that we can use. You can use these emotes either in the comments or in some live streams. And my recent test about streaming actually went pretty well. So I will in the future stream on Twitch and on YouTube. So these things make more sense for you. Just to give you like a little bit of a added bonus, I guess. But yeah, I just wanted to briefly talk about that and address that because so many people asked about this, so here you go. But don't feel like any pressure or whatever. This is just a info. You don't need to become a member at all whatsoever. I know people have to deal with so many things at the moment, so it's totally fine not to, but I just wanted to give you the info on that. Other than this, today's episode, that's been it. I really hope you enjoyed this one. Please let me know in the comments down below what we could put to the right here and maybe to the back of this tiny area. And then we're almost done with the tinies already and ready for a little tour. Until then, I hope you guys had a good time. I hope you guys have a good weekend ahead. And now, yeah, stay safe, everyone. I talk to you in the next one.